Alright, now let's start that level.54V-K5Q-XDG. It's, oh wait, he said it's just 4 frame perfect jumps. Well, we might be bailing then, but we'll give it a shot. No scary foos, palabra. Just take a look. Get that world record, okay. It's not that long. Clear time was 9 seconds, so yeah, if you get it done. Didn't have a long bus ride, but like near the end on the way, the first 4-way home. Elementary school, I was driven like 4 minutes down the road. Had to take a real bus ride after that. I guess there's just more elementary schools than high schools, right? Maybe. Because I think I have like 5 elementary schools within like 10 minutes of where I live. But the closest high school is 30 minutes away. Way more elementary schools, which is weird, right? It's not like kids stop needing education after elementary school. But I guess elementary schools could just be smaller. Because high schools do seem bigger, right? Like my elementary school was a lot, as if there are fewer teachers. Like kids just die, frowny face. No. Yeah, like my elementary school as a kid was not nearly like my high school was more of like a campus. It had like several more buildings and obviously like a lot more students. Like my elementary school was pre-kindergarten to 8th grade, so that's 12 classes, and it still had like a quarter of the kids that my high school had, and that was, you know, only 4 grades. Mario for 3 hours so you know you can beat it? Okay. It doesn't seem that bad, yeah. That jump's pretty hard. But I wonder what the situation is in other countries. Oh, we're getting there, boys. Ah, close. Close, close, close. Another thing is, I remember in like kindergarten, I never got any homework. First grade, I never got any homework. And I remember like at the end of first grade, like our teacher gave us like a optional over the summer, like very simple project to do for when we got to second grade, and we were like, "Is this homework?" We were like super excited, like we felt like big kids that were actually getting homework. And the desire to actually do homework very, very quickly died after that. It became very unexciting very quickly. Ah, so close. Quali is in 5 hours, yeah. Alright, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, quali's in 5 hours. I'm going to, I'm gonna be taking a break in like 90 minutes or so. Have to go out for a bit. Then I'll be coming back, and then we'll do the qualifier. And then we'll do Mario Sunshine with Tapioca and friends. That's probably too early, yep. Used a cheese strat. Oh. Well, I see no dev door, so that one's out of the question. Like, the only cheese strat I can think of is if you I don't know, maybe you can spin jump off of the piranha plant, and then it's not as tight as tight of a lineup onto that spring. Just bounce off the piranha plant a few times. You got it? So can you, let me see, can you really make that jump? It seems like it'd be tough to make the jump on the piranha plant from the, from this thing. It's not? Okay. I feel like if I don't get the piranha, if I don't go for the piranha jump though, I get world record because I think that's going to be slower, right? Yep. All right. Let's get that welly relly. Ooh, so close. that was a late jump. Just past the pole is enough. Oh, I do want that welly relly. Oh, I was so close. I was so close that time. Mario's feet were just an inch away from the goalpost. Ah, same. What confuses me though is I see there's like death X's on the goalpost. Like how do people die there? Like there's obviously death under the goalpost, but like on the goalpost. I don't know how you die there. Oops. Now I'm losing it. I had it, now I'm losing the touch. All right, let's get back and focused here. I know I have this. Yeah, we're so close. I try to get greedy because I've tried to wait a little bit longer there, but just a little too long. Just a little too long. You can do it. When did I get... So Tapioca's birthday was I guess technically yesterday now. And I think Tager was in there, or some people were in there gifting out some gift subs. I got one. Hold on. I've got a flex as well. Tapioca guilty. I think it was Tager gifted me at least. I think he might have gifted other people too. I'm not sure. I know he gifted Ozzy. So he was definitely gifting out multiples. Buh, I'm dead again. Oh, I'm dead. No, that was way too early. But see, you guys... I didn't pause there in time, but you guys saw it, right? On the goal, there's deaths. How did that happen? How did people die on the goalpost? Alright. Just a little bit too far right. Oh, now I see. I see how you die there. Gilded Dragon gifted at you. I see. It wasn't Tager then. Now you know. So I guess that last, at the goalpost, you just jump there. So you jump past the spikes. I don't quite get how spikes on the opposite end of the goalpost don't let you, like, kill you. Because they're past the goalpost. Then I tried to slow down there. Sigiri blah. The goalpost is the second one. That's too bad that Sagiribla is already an FFZ emote that someone else submitted, because that would be a great emote for global. And it would go well with Megu Blind. Alright. I'm not a big fan of this last one here. I think the level doesn't need the spikes beyond the goalposts. On mobile is awkward, that's right, because I don't think there's any support for FFZ on mobile, right? But rest assured, I am seeing them right now, and I'm appreciating them. I just like the particularly the last spike is sort of goes to a kind of like level design element I see that I just don't like. It's like the Kaizo troll kind of thing. Like I feel like the level, like everything before the level does a good job of signaling to the player what they're supposed to do. And I feel like the I feel like the level signals to the player like this is the challenge, is making this last jump, because the last jump is super tight. And I think it just leaves like a bad kind of feeling to the player when they finally make that and they get like punished. Because I'm like, it sounds like you've seen everybody who's completed your level. Did anybody get to the end of the level I mean, if you do the cheese, is the goalpost like if you wait at the right moment with the fire with the flour, it's possible that if you do that cheese, you don't have to. The goalpost will just be right down there at the bottom. So there's that, but I assume that's not part of the intention, like you said. That's cheese. So it's just like the player sort of feels like disappointed at the end because they feel like they did what the level was challenging them to do, which is make that tight jump at the end, only to die. So, have the other players that you watched, has anybody made it to the end on the first try without dying to the spikes? Intended the way you're playing it? Okay. Well, it's so. Did they? Is the reason they do the spin jump just to get the global timer where it needs to be? Like, so they got there before and they were like, oh, there's spikes here. Let me delay so that I have the bar there when it needs to be. To practice the last jump is why they did it. When is Nepgear Conquest stage? I've heard that Conquest is like a really cool route in Neptunia, but I haven't played it yet. I haven't even finished. Sorry, dirty confession. I haven't even finished a single Neptunia game. I've only ever started one Neptunia game, and that's the second one with the sisters. Just spin jump? Spin jump at the end? Neptunia games are bad. I mean, it is true. They're not the greatest RPG thing. But they're cute. I mean, I honestly, the one I played was challenging, which was great. Like 2 was challenging. After the second, I don't get like what the spin jump after the second jump accomplishes though. Unless it's to change the global timer. Like, is it just a delay? Or is it just to get more attempts? Because I don't really care about getting more attempts. Mario Maker's going well, it is, Tager. But yeah, Neptunia was challenging, which is great. And it was, I mean, it's got like a dorky story, which is fine. It's like a weird, it's not like a dungeon crawler. Like, all of the quote-unquote dungeons are super short. Enemies are interesting, but you don't really get like the exploration kind of feeling. Everything is kind of like, at least in 2. No dungeons really went that deep, so dungeons just felt kind of weird that way. But it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it that I quit it. It was just I think I had to go I had to travel somewhere. Or I was going out of town for a bit, or I had something come up, and then I never picked it back up after that. But it's not like I dropped it. I'm talking about Neptunia, Hyperdimension Neptunia 2, specifically the remake that came out on Steam. By 0, is that what you do? You spin jump and you decrease the gravity by 0.2 neutrons. Oh. Oh, it's to skip the trampoline? Okay, I mean, you skip, it just means I get more attempts there, but it doesn't change, the last jump. What I want, ideally, is for the bar... What I want, ideally, is for the bar, on the goalpost to be right at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about the spikes. I make contact... I think that would work, right? If the bar is down at the bottom there, you'll make contact with it before the spikes, right? Nep Nep lore, yeah, number 2. Nep Nep numero dos. Which was oddly the first one I played. That was the first one I bought. Because I read the reviews on number 1 and they were like, this one's more visual novel-y, which I don't know if that's true. Like, it was just literally all the games were on sale. I was like, which one should I start first? And I was like, well, I should probably start at 1, and I read the reviews. I was like, this one's a little more like story than gameplay. And then I looked at 2 and it didn't have that review, and then I saw that 2 was also about the Emoto, the little sisters. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the game for me then. Way more technical than what you got in the hours of playing. Yeah, I think Spock's making a joke. Have Rebirth 1 and 2? Yeah, it was Rebirth 2 was specifically the one I'm talking about. Because they, like I said before, they go on sale all the time. You, like, not like a 30% off sale, like a 75% plus off sale. Particularly the older ones. Like, the newer ones will eventually go on those crazy deals too, but Idea Factory loves to sell their stuff. For cheap. Like, I wiped several times. Like, several times in 2. 2 has some cool mechanics that you have to abuse. Well, not abuse, because you're using them the intended way, but it's not like... I don't know, there's some like, there's 2 different design decisions with RPGs. There's, like, the Super Mario RPG that's, like, you're meant to just beat this. And... I feel like a game like Super Mario RPG, even if you make bad, like, equip decisions, bad party decisions, bad whatever decisions, it's really hard not to beat the game. Like, you're not really going to get walled. I mean, you still might wipe, but you're not going to get walled, I feel. Like, I feel like there's a lot of different quote-unquote strategies, and some being pretty bad strategies that will still win you the game in, like, a Super Mario RPG kind of RPG, right? Like, look at the speedrun. The speedrun abuses red essence. Like, the speedrun's able to beat the game at, like, a super low level. Well, low level. Let's forget about the speedrun. Let's talk about low level. You can beat Super Mario RPG at, like, Mario, like, level 5. What is it again? So... obviously, that makes use of a lot of strong mechanics in that game, like... So there's an RPG like Super Mario RPG, which just gives you a lot of different tools and strong items and such, where strategy doesn't matter that much. Worst comes to worst, if you get to a difficult boss fight, you pop a red essence and then you're good. But there's also another style of RPG where you have to really understand the game really well, or mechanics in the game, or actually, like, come up with really solid strats to beat some fight. I feel like we get a lot fewer of that type of RPG, but they're definitely out there. I'm not going to spoil anything about Octopath, but endgame content of Octopath is very much like that. I was extremely surprised. Because Octopath early game comes off as, like, pretty easy. Well, not easy, but I feel like your old school RPG player, someone with a lot of RPG experience under their belt, is going to be able to find strategies in Octopath that you just realize, oh, this strategy is so OP, and you can abuse it so easily, and it'll help trivialize a lot of the content in there for you. Then you get to some endgame content, and you find out, oh wow, the developers actually intended you to be a really good player of this game and try to get the most out of every little every little skill that they put at your disposal. So, give him love, chat. So yeah. So we got onto this topic about Neptunia. I feel like Neptunia falls in the middle, but it definitely has some challenges to it where you have to think, how can I use the tools that the RPG is giving me to beat some of the harder bosses? Because it all comes down to boss scaling, right? Your character is going to have a certain power level, and then you're going to scale the bosses and the enemies in line with that power level, right? And better RPG players, more experienced RPG players, are going to be able to scale their characters' stats, whether it be HP, attack, all of those things. They're going to be able to scale their own characters' attacks, stats, and abilities higher than a player who's not as good at RPGs. So the decision on what kind of player you want to challenge is determined by how you scale the bosses, right? Because if you scale the bosses to require super geared out or super like tuned characters, well, yeah, the people who are super talented or good at RPGs are going to eat that stuff up, and they're going to feel like they're getting a challenge, and they have to really stretch their characters and their abilities to customize the characters to the limit. But then the people who aren't as good at RPGs are going to not be able to beat that content. So it's like, do you go for the middle ground? Does that make anybody happy? Like, the middle ground is the bad players still can't beat it, and the good players still trivialize it. Do you go for the easy ground? I don't know. Does anybody own like RPG Maker on Steam? I bought it on Steam when it was like on a big sale. But whenever you think about making an RPG, like, there's so many things, so many different facets to it. And one of the most, and a lot of them are difficult, but one of the difficult ones is how do you scale the stats? How do you develop a good difficulty for an RPG? And how do you make it fun? Because if you just make it difficult, well, that's one thing. But you've got to add fun mechanics, too. Like, if it's just going to be the same old menu with attack, spell, and run away, you could scale that. You come up with a really rewarding difficulty for that, but is the player still going to have fun playing the same basic RPG mechanics that they've played in every RPG of their life? Hey, Solomon, how are you doing? I ate your pies of this world. Hey, Solomon, how was Gotcha today? How did we do in Gotcha? Welcome everyone from Solomon's stream. I appreciate the host. It means a lot. We are playing some Mario Maker. We've actually have the creator of this level in chat. The event story is fun, but the grind is bad. I see. Shoot. My favorite RPG... Oh, it's really tough, man. Like I said, as a kid, I loved Super Mario RPG. I still think it's a really good game because I played as an adult, but... It's so hard to evaluate because I ask myself... Can I really evaluate this game and remove the nostalgia from it? Because part of me will always like that game just because of how much I played it and loved it as a kid. And that's always going to bias my decision. So when you try to remove that bias, it becomes difficult. So it might be my favorite, but it's definitely up there in my really top tier. I thought Chrono Trigger was good. I played Octopath recently. Octopath is good. I don't think it's up there with the top. I think it's got some issues, but it's definitely scratches the itch for that kind of generation of RPG. I haven't actually played Autonoma. The book grind isn't that bad. On a scale of one to Abyss, Epic 7 Abyss grind, Solomon, how bad is the FGO grind, event grind right now? Oh no, not Abyss. Golem, or what was the really bad grind in Epic 7? Was it Golem or? It's everything, to be honest. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to Epic 7, how bad is the grind for FGO? Gear is a big one. How far? Speaking of, on the topic of, because I was watching Yemo play Path of Exile earlier. How how far did you get in Path of Exile when you played it last League? So I know we talked a little bit about it. I don't know if you. I know you had like so much stuff going on, so I imagine you didn't make too much progress, but still in Act 1. Okay. I was just curious. Because it's actually, when I was watching you play Epic 7 a lot when you were streaming it a couple months ago, that was funny enough what got me into playing PoE again, because I think like the gear mechanics, I feel it obviously the games are very different, but I feel like there's some overlap. And it got me thinking more about, like, you know, getting gear on your character and stuff. But it, like, obviously on Path of Exile, it's definitely grindy, but you don't have like some of the gotcha stuff with like energy and equip costs and whatnot. Yeah, you can also type !current. Oh no, !current, because all the Mario Maker commands have begin with MM. And you too can. That's yet another way to find out the code. No, it's fine. I love Ben. Look, it even includes the creator too, just to prove that we have the creator in chat. But yeah, what are people's? What are? I mean, best RPG of all time is tough to say. But how about what has been everybody's the best RPG you've played in the last 5 years? Now, say if you played like Chrono Trigger again in the last 5 years for like just I'm gonna play Chrono Trigger this weekend, you can say that. But only over the past 5 years, what was the best RPG you played? Gotta think for myself. What was the best RPG I've played in the last 5 years? I have played both FF7 and FF9 in the last 5 years for the first time too. And I think probably FF7 for me. I think FF7 is my answer. We're limiting it to only RPGs you've played in the last 5 years. Persona 5 probably. Persona 5 is pretty solid. I think personally I would like Persona 5 is really, really good. I played it as well. I think I would just put Final Fantasy 7 for me. In my case, in my last 5 years, above it. Yeah, Persona 5 is very good. I'd like to play more SMT. SMT looks good. Nier Autonoma for I Love Ben. Sounds good. Sounds solid. Xenoblade Chronicles. Another really good one. Another series I need to get into. Man, I'm so far behind on good RPGs. Alright, let's take a sip here. Thing is, for PoE, you can make do with... Oh, yeah, you can... Especially, especially all the way to maps. You can make use with subpar gear. And you can trade, which is excellent. Do you think if Epic 7 had some kind of like trading system, like I think gotchas just can't do it, right? They can't do trading because it like fosters people paying money for stuff, and they don't want that, like real money for trades. But I don't know. Would it be better for the players if you could actually like trade items between people? Because of re-rollers, yeah, that's it, yeah. But a trade definitely helps PoE. And account selling, yeah, because if that wasn't a thing, I feel like it would help, right? Because don't you in Epic 7 get gear that's good, but just for a particular character doesn't work out for them or doesn't work out for their set, but it might work out for a character that someone else is building? But yeah, stuff like account sharing and rerolls doesn't make that work. Sleep is your favorite RPG. Gear trading would actually work. What about looter scooters like Days Gone? Oh yeah, Spock. Thanks for stopping by and sleep well. Because it's not gotcha, it's farming. Oh, so gear trading would actually work in the Epic 7 then. But trading like characters wouldn't, right? Like it would. I don't. Like obviously how the gotcha is set up. If you could like trade characters, that wouldn't work, right? But gear trading possibly could work. I feel like gear trading would just help a lot of quality of life for players, right? But it's probably never going to happen. Trading in these type of games just helps so much, IMO. But again, I come from a PoE background where it's absolutely huge. So that's my bias. Twitch Prime sub, I don't know how you deserve for trying so hard. I think... How does Twitch Prime work? Isn't there up at the top, there's a thing that says subscribe with Prime? Isn't that how it works? Yeah, you can spin jump on the plant. On mobile, does he just go to SG4E/subscribe? Do I actually get to post a Do I actually get to post it? Hold on. Is it twitch.tv/SG4E/subscribe? Does that link work on mobile? Yo, Darrow! Thank you for the sub as well. Alright, I appreciate that, Darrow. Thank you for the sub. Enjoy the curry from Micah. Doesn't work. Is it that weird, like, ticket thing? Did you have to do, like, subscribe on mobile? Twitch, subscribe, mobile. It does on Solomon's end. Maybe it's a weird thing with how Twitch Prime does. Product sale. Oh yeah, follow that one. Follow that one. I love BEM. Website not available. Maybe the link that Solomon had works. Android is weird. Yeah, Persona 5 was a great game that got one of the newer editions. I'm playing currently, although I put it down for a while. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at putting games down. And as a game, several times in my mind, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to this game finally. Tonight. I was like, tonight, I'm going to actually start playing this game again because I enjoyed playing it so much, but it just hasn't happened yet. I've put it down for like 2 months now, maybe even more. But SMT, Strange Journey Redux for DS. That game has been really fun so far. But like I said, there's been Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise that I've been playing. Mario Maker coming out, Pinball. Oh, there's just so many games going on, but I do intend to go back to that as soon as possible. I feel like I'm like halfway or over halfway through that game, although it's one of those games with a kind of story that's hard to judge. I only put down bad game design. Solomon doesn't remember the good games, just remembers the bad ones. That's right, 3 Houses coming out. Do you guys think 3 Houses will be a good intro to Fire Emblem? I'm afraid to admit it, but I've never played a Fire Emblem before. My knowledge of Fire Emblem comes from watching Solomon stream it. And it looks like a lot of fun. But same issue. Too many games to play, not enough time to play them. 100% sure? Yo, I love Ben. He found it. Thank you. Thank you for the sub. enjoy the snack from like Pog. Thanks, man. Joining the DGen crew. Yes, enjoy the emotes. Enjoy the SG4EIC and the Micah Blind. I heard you get lots of dirty stares in Twitch chat if you post SG4E Blind in normie Twitch chat. So go ahead and do that. I mean, it's like Aziz isn't that much better, right, Sullivan? Aziz isn't that much better. Yeah, apparently Pi saw that emote and he I wasn't there when it happened, man. I wish somebody clipped it. I would have loved to see it. I only heard it secondhand. Something like he said something like, I'm not too sure about that SG4E emote. There you go. The funny thing is, I was talking about this yesterday. It's like I only put SG4E Blind in as a placeholder when I got the second slot, with the full intention of commissioning a real emote in its place. But then it gets like I like how it gets this kind of negative attention too. That just makes you want to keep it. You got emotes now? Aw, thanks. I love Bem. I appreciate it. Think it's hilarious. I'm all for sneaking emotes past the emote approval team when they're not looking close enough. Azai has really cute emotes too. Azai Dab and Azai Dabero. By the way, does anybody notice, it's been a while since I've been streaming, so it should probably be happening now. Anybody notice, like, sound desync on the capture? Artist name is Baka Wolf. Is that his artist? Ooh, that's good to know. Yeah, those are really good. I'll have to keep that name in mind. Baka Wolf. Azai Dabero. Sounds fine. Okay, thanks for verifying, Captain. I did change some stuff. I changed something with regards to frame rate that some people had suggested, and it turned my when I changed that setting, my CPU usage went down by like half in OBS. So it definitely was a change that did something positive. Hopefully that'll fix the audio desync, but we'll see. If it's something that's going to have to be like debugged over several streams, and because it's something that doesn't show up until after several hours of streaming, I think. So one of those things where you try something, see if it still happens. If it still happens, try something else, see if it still happens, etc. We're dead. The last spin jump? Is it a spin jump? Oh, are you supposed to spin jump there? I thought you would just regular jump. Like, what's the spin jump? Is it literally just to get more attempts past the flower? What I really want to know is, how do you do the last jump? Is it just press B as soon as you land? Spin jump flower? I mean this one, right? This one I don't care too much about. It's the one after there that I care about. CPU usage was 20%, which is really odd. And it was only, like, when I stream Final Fantasy, CPU usage is 5% because I use NVIDIA graphics onboard encoder for video. So CPU shouldn't be anything for encoding. So it's down, like, my CPU usage is 5% in OBS when I stream free enterprise or any kind of emulation stuff, or anything, except HDMI capture. When I stream HDMI capture, with the previous settings I had, it would go up to 20%, which was very odd, because the HDMI capture is just supposed to encode on the capture card itself, and just pass the encoded video to OBS, and then OBS just embeds that. But the 20% CPU seems like a lot for no encoding. So I changed some settings, and it went down to 10%. So it's still doing something, but it's doing a lot less than it was before. The last jump I mean, I've made the jump before, I love Ben, but I run into the spike, so I need to know how I fix that. Is it you jump as soon as you land? That's what I want to know. Because I've made it. I've made it before, but I run into the spikes at the goalpost. So I assume I need to jump there. Like, what's... I don't know. Mario has, like, frames of lag on the ground, too. So after I make it, I guess I'm just supposed to be spamming B. I'm not sure how to handle the last jump. Hold back while holding boost. Okay. Oh, without holding boost. SMW3. SMW3 mechanics are weird. Oh, this one? There are tons of stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is the most popular. Like, Super Mario World is the most popular to make ROM hacks of, right? Like Kaizo ROM hacks, because there's just so many tools. Like, mechanics tools. Like, there's spin jumps. There's, like, munchers. There's a lot of stuff you can work with for Kaizo. Shell jumps, momentum abuse, yeah. What's your favorite Mario game, Solomon? We were talking about this before. We are talking about different Mario games like a couple streams ago. It's hard for me to say. It might be Super Mario World for me, but I think that's just because that was the first one I played. Don't play many Mario games? Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I don't want to say like the recent ones. Like, obviously the recent ones are good, but I always love the old 2D Marios. They hold a special place in my heart. And I never played the first ones until they came out on All Stars because I never had a SNES. I mean a NES. I only had a SNES. Love the art style of 3, but gameplay-wise, Mario World. I see that. I think 3 has a really good art style, too. I like the art style in World. The original NES one is pretty basic, although it still looks good. Like, I think in Super Mario Maker, the most appealing styles are the 2D ones. You didn't even hit the spike? What do you mean? Oh, that time? Yeah, the spiked hitboxes are weird next to the piranha plant. The spiked hitboxes are mean. I hear they're even worse in 3D Land. I mean 3D Land. I played one level on them, they felt pretty unforgiving and pretty weird. He went ham on 3D levels. I've seen Divine. There's some really weird ones out there. I mean, by weird, I mean tough. Yeah, his 3D levels are merciless. Been seeing them on Twitter. I've happened to catch several of them being created and uploaded, which is super hype. And they are something. The one thing about Panga levels that is unfortunate in my opinion is I feel like a lot of people see Panga levels and they see like a lot of streamers playing Panga levels because they certainly attract people to watch them. And I think a lot of new level designers who are like new to Super Mario Maker in this game see that and they think that that's what a good level is. And that's not a knock on Panga or Kaizo levels. But I think that's a trap where a lot of level creators will fall into. Because, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Let me pose the question. Do you think if someone created one of the 3D levels that Panga created, like in an alternate universe, where Panga didn't create that level and someone else without any like name or online recognition made one of those, uploaded it, what percentage of the plays and clears? Well, not the plays. How many clears do you think a level like that would have if it wasn't created by Panga? Because I think that's a problem that level creators will fall into. It's that if your level is just super challenging and it doesn't have that much, if it's like a Kaizo level of challenge, like a Divine, and you don't have the name recognition that Panga has, where people already know, oh, this guy, he actually uploads challenging levels that, aren't, like, super trolly, and has a name for himself. Yeah, people will play that people will play a Kaizo level that's super difficult if it comes from a known author. But if you're someone out there designing that style of level and you have no name for yourself, if people encounter that level in a queue or in like endless mode, that level is just getting skipped. Because there's plenty of super trolls out there who would make a level like that and just make it super stupid at the end with like random pipes or death doors, whatnot. And if it's not coming from a known creator, you have no guarantee about that. So you could invest 8 hours into a level that's super difficult, only to find out it has something really, really dumb towards the end. And yeah, I think that's something that's going to affect people. Like if you're a designer who really wants your level to be played by a lot of people, you've got to do something to make them know. Like, all right, here's the challenge that this level is giving you. And here's what you have to do to complete it. So they know what they're getting into. Do you think I should submit this to Mario Maker streamers that I have to pay for? Or do you think they'll just spin jump past the plan? I don't know. I have no, I mean, it depends on what you want, right? What you want out of the level. If you like people watching it, do you think it's hard enough? Like, yeah, it depends on what you want. Like, if it gives you a lot of enjoyment and entertainment to watch someone stream it to the point where you'd pay money for them to do it, then sure, go for it. But it's like a personal decision, I think. I noticed like there's several streamers who do like the pay to queue thing. And on the one hand, I think like from an outside perspective, it seems kind of scummy, and I don't disagree. But I think actually like doing a queue, it is difficult to like stay up on levels. And I don't run into that problem too much, because if I get a level that's just super trolly, I just drop it. Because I think that's like, because I don't care. Like bigger streamers, they feel like, oh, if they get like a hard level, they have like something to prove, right? And that's some of them. Some streamers, that's part of their like brand, right? Is I do super challenging levels, or I'm good at this game, or whatnot. So they feel like they have to do super hard levels. And also, if they have a lot of viewers, their queue fills up very quickly. So pay to queue just seems like something natural that has to happen for those streamers to make the queue manageable. Don't care about views, I just want someone to pass it the way you're passing it. Honestly, I think someone who's really good at this game would probably try to cheese it as much as possible, so they're probably going to do the piranha plant thing that you're talking about. You could always make a level that doesn't have that cheese. Like, just make like a 2.0 of this level, if you think that would be better. And eliminate, like, remove the cheese from the remake. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a maker of levels, so I'm working on one, but it's just like a super memey anime level. Like I'm gonna put a lot of effort into it, but it's more of like a cool thing that I wanna do and I wanna design. I don't like, maybe in an endless queue somewhere, someone will see it and they'll have seen the anime before and they'll be like, oh wow, this level is really cool, and they'll leave like a cute comment. And that's all I want. Rukar might be up to, I don't know how often he does Twitter levels, might want to check. Hour to upload it. The maker too limiting? Yeah, I get what you're saying, Darrow. I've felt that as well. Because when you play levels, you think like, oh wow, there's so many stuff to do. Then you actually get in the maker and you see like all the parts you have, and you're like, wait, the vision I had is actually going to be a lot more constrained or a lot harder to put together than I originally thought. Definitely, when you finally put your shoes into the the maker, or what's the expression? Put yourself into the Mario Maker creator's shoes. Your perspective changes as far as what you think you can do with levels. All my love towards you. Thanks, man. Every so often I get into a bad pattern with this first jump where I just try to jump it too late. I feel like this first jump is pretty forgiving. It's the ones that later on, well then I say that. It's the ones later on that are tougher. Timed everything based off of the music. Let's take a sip here. Stay hydrated. I can't emote correctly. There we go. Whoops, I'm dead. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I feel like the clear percentage of this level is going way down thanks to me. I know one of Panga's 3D World levels has a 0.00 clear rate. And it has clears, but the way the rounding works to two decimal digits of the percentage, it ends up being 0.00. It was already low, don't worry. I found out the other day that there exists a lagless ROM hack of Gradius 3. Gradius 3 being a Super Nintendo shoot 'em up game in the famous Gradius series. And apparently if you play, I haven't actually played it before. I did see both a stream of both lagless and like original version. If you've got an SD to SNES, you can put the lagless version of it, which basically just, since the SD to SNES has the SA1 like extension chip on it, some dedicated ROM hackers of that game were able to just make it so that it could use the SA1 chip on like a flash card or in an emulator to remove all the lag in the game. And the game was designed, like the difficulty in the game and like the enemies were designed to have some lag, and it looks crazy lagless. It looks like an insane challenge. If anybody likes shoot 'em ups, super difficult shoot 'em ups, that's probably the most difficult one out there. Gradius 3 lagless ROM hack. The only shoot 'em up I've ever played was Pocky and Rocky. And when I played it as a kid, I definitely had the Game Genie in there, so I got infinite lives. I tried to play it again as an adult like a couple years ago. Wow, I am not good at shoot 'em ups. And that one's not that bad. That one's meant to be more like little kid friendly with bad reflexes. I think that's Zero's sip emote, right? I remember seeing all these, like, Zero used to not have, like, a waifu emotes, didn't he? Oh, we're finally done. Got him! And we didn't get world record, damn, but that's fine. Alright, we need to, not a tag. I always want to put a tag, but I mean to put a comment, but with the stamp. Let's just put that. Kappa. The goalpost spike. Yeah, okay, so here's my honest, do you want my honest opinion? I love Bem. I think it's a cool concept. I think the level would be better without the spike at the end. Like, I get that you want it to be like it's a bunch of frame perfect jumps. I like that it's short. Like I think if you put more jumps in there, it's gonna just be super frustrating with the player, because you want the player to have a. If you're gonna make it difficult, yeah, everyone would pass. Well, it took me several attempts to get it at the end, but everybody who finally gets that jump at the end is always going to get hit with the spikes. I don't know. I feel like if you want something difficult, like maybe if you just put like one more thing in there, like maybe like a spin jump. I don't know. Like if you want it to be a little more difficult, I think you put a different challenge in there that's not like a troll. Like in my opinion, when you have the spike at the end, at the goalpost, everybody's going to die there and it's going to feel like a troll. And that's what's frustrating the player. If you want it to be more difficult, that's okay. Just use something. Like if you just put the spike in a more visible location or something, you know what I'm getting at? You could just spin jump the flower, but that's not how you want it, right? But yeah, like I think like making good, challenging, and fun difficult levels is something that's super hard for makers to do. But I think you're definitely on the right track there. I'm curious what kind of level you make next. But yeah. GG's. I think, let's see, what does the queue look like? I might just do, you made one more level. All right, feel free to add it to the queue. We'll get to it sometime. By the way, if anybody is coming here for the first time, this is the nowhere near as hard. All right, awesome. This is the Q website, and hopefully this is working. Shoot, it does not seem to be working. It's working, but I changed the VOD where I would upload the VOD right away each time, and that part doesn't be working. But anyway, on the website, that keeps track of everybody's levels that they've submitted, and also whenever I complete them, I'm a few levels behind, and I'm trying to automate that, but I include the VOD of when the level is completed. So if people want to submit levels and they're not sure if they're going to be here when I actually play them, submit. Love Bem. Like that. Yeah, then at least the VOD option is available. Anyways, let's add this one to the done.